a UK-wide problem. Trading standards officers throughout the country are reporting the same sort of figures that we're finding.
Clocking cars means winding back the speedometer to improve the value of high-mileage cars. An expert clocker can add up to £1,000 to the value of a vehicle. At the moment, the only way of telling how many miles a second-hand car has done is to look at the vehicle registration form. There's a box at the bottom for the purpose, but filling it in is optional. The DVLA in Swansea say that currently less than a third of drivers actually bother. But the Driver and Vehicle Licensing Agency says making it compulsory would not be easy.
There are drawbacks which will need to be considered. For instance, how do we enforce the requirement? And how will we know that the information provided is accurate? It may be that we will end up with a scheme which is not foolproof and very expensive to administer.
This illicit industry is now said to be worth £100 million a year. Those calling for change say with lives being put at risk and motorists cheated out of thousands of pounds, it's time to put an end to clocking. Duncan Kennedy, BBC News.
The Italian Prime Minister Lamberto Dini has said he'll resign tomorrow. He made the announcement after a cabinet meeting approved tax increases and spending cuts to fill a shortfall in the main budget. The resignation comes 2 days before Italy begins her 6-month presidency of the European Union. A threat that all the football clubs in the first division of the English Ensley League would resign and form their own breakaway division appears to have been averted. The 72 clubs in the league met today to decide how to divide the £125 million they'll receive from Sky Television. There'll be more talks over the weekend.
Not much Christmas cheer among the league chairmen who met in London this morning to decide how to divide up the spoils of the Sky TV deal. The fight between First Division chairman, led by Ron Nodes of Crystal Palace, and the Second and Third Division chairman was also over how much power the top clubs would wield. Sky's deal to screen live Ensley League football next season had already been signed, but hung on a threat by First Division clubs to resign and form a breakaway league if they didn't get their way. That looked a very real possibility after Divisions 2 and 3 defeated them in a secret vote. After a 4-hour meeting confronting the loss of money and control of players, and with a deadline that expires on New Year's Eve, Division 1 bosses decided the risks were too great.
I have every confidence that notices of provisional resignation will not be handed in before the deadline.
For the Second and Third Division chairman, that came as a blessed relief and averted possible disaster.
It would have certainly scuppered the £125 million Sky TV deal, there's no question about that. It would have certainly made the future of 48 clubs in Division 2 and Division 3 extremely bleak. I think we would have been faced in the Division 2 and 3 with part-time football, clubs that were no longer viable.
If any First Division clubs are to resign, they have until Sunday night to do so. The Ensley League has been assured that this won't take place, but the president admitted that 5 minutes is a long time in football and anything could happen. Adam Minot, BBC News, at the Ensley League meeting in central London.
England's cricketers will enter the final day's play of the 4th Test in Port Elizabeth, requiring 308 runs to win. South Africa declared their second innings on 162 for 9. In reply, England are 20 without loss.
Encouraged by the crowd, the South African bowlers wasted little time with the end of England's first innings. In the process, Peter Martin received a blow to the head. The delivery was remembered, but with the Lancastrian still spinning, he tottered back to a gyrating ball from Paul Adams. But for the second time in their recent history, South Africa were to regret hitting a tail-ender with a bouncer. Andrew Hudson played into the gloves of Russell in Martin's first over. The same combination accounted for captain Hansi Cronje. Richard Illingworth then tempted Daryl Cullinan to overstretch the crease, his heel judged to be in the air as the bails came off. Early breakthroughs then became a fight-back led by Dominic Cork from the duck pond end. First to oblige Jonty Rhodes, who went leg before for naught. Brian McMillan did get 1 run, but was then caught by Hick, and David Richardson was picked off by his counterpart without scoring. The captain did all he could to keep the leader of his 3-pronged attack fit for action. The gesture seemed to keep Cork steady enough to take Sean Pollock's wicket and make it those extra few yards towards the South African crowd. It took the departure of Gary Kirsten on 69 to eventually induce the declaration on 162 for 9. Mike Atherton and Alex Stewart are there for the morning, but they need another 308 runs off a minimum of 90 overs for victory. Nigel Gainsborough, BBC News.
308 runs in a minimum.
And the main news tonight. The Conservative MP Emma Nicholson has revealed exclusively on this programme that she has sent a letter to the Prime Minister informing him that she is defecting to the Liberal Democrats. She told the 9 o'clock news the Tory party had taken a wrong turn and had become sectional and angry.
I believe that it is the Conservative Party that has shifted and not my own views. To me, the ship has gone to the right, and there I find it hits a rock.
Senior Conservative sources expressed deep disappointment at Miss Nicholson's decision, but said that it will not deflect the Prime Minister and the party from carrying out the right policies for Britain for the full term of a Conservative government. That's all from the 9 o'clock news tonight. Good night.
Good evening. In the Midlands, 10 people, including a 13-year-old boy, have been injured after a man armed with knives started attacking people at a supermarket in Birmingham. One person has been seriously injured. A supermarket worker has been arrested.
The police are describing it as a freak incident. Shoppers at the Netto store in Bawdsley Green say a man brandishing 2 knives walked through the aisles, stabbing anyone in his path. 10 people were injured, including one man who tried to stop him. A man in his 60s was taken by air ambulance to hospital. A 13-year-old boy has been treated for a wound to the chest. The police say the man used a 4-inch Bowie knife and a Swiss Army knife. A third weapon, a craft knife, was found in his pocket.
This young lad come up, punched me in the back, and I thought, oops, oi. And there was a young gentleman about 6 foot away, then I seen the blade go into his back, and I thought, blimey, I wonder if he's done that to me.
This evening, the police are questioning a 23-year-old man believed to be an employee at Netto.
We need to find out why this man did what he did. We have no idea why he stabbed the number of people that he did. We're not aware of a motive at this stage, just that he ran amok with a knife.
7 people are being detained in hospital this evening.
The body of a young woman has been found in a lay-by in Worcestershire. Tonight, the cousin of the missing French student Céline Figard is being taken to Newtown Hospital in Worcestershire to help identify the body. It was found early this afternoon by a motorist who'd pulled off the A449 between Worcester and Kidderminster.
The body of the young woman, who's thought to be aged 19 to 25, was discovered at lunchtime today by a motorist who'd stopped to carry out repairs on his car. The body had been hidden in undergrowth around 10 feet from the road.
The scene has been protected and inquiries are in hand to try and identify her. The female is now been taken to the mortuary where a post-mortem will be carried out by an Home Office pathologist later on this evening.
West Mercia detectives have refused to say whether the body is that of the missing French hitchhiker Céline Figard. They have said, though, that they are cooperating with police forces in the south of England. Detectives are now trying to secure the area where the body was found earlier today. They say it's a battle against the weather. Detectives from Hampshire are expected to travel to the Midlands tonight to try and identify the young woman. A post-mortem is now being held to try and establish exactly how she died.
An investigation has begun after an explosion at a house in Bilston in the Black Country. Colin Carson is being treated at the Birmingham Burns unit. He was in the living room of his home when the explosion happened. It ripped the semi-detached house apart, throwing furniture and radiators out onto the lawn. Gas board officials are still trying to establish exactly what caused it. Well, that's it from the Miidlands Today newsroom for tonight, and that's it from me for this year. So may I wish you a very happy new year, and I will see you next week. The weather follows now. Have a very good weekend, whatever you're doing.
Hello again. The good news is that the big freeze is about to come to an end. The bad news, it's going to get worse before it gets better. Now, as we arrive into 1996, much milder conditions will be moving northwards across the United Kingdom. The milder conditions, well, they're coming along behind these weather systems here. However, these two weather fronts are going to be bringing quite a bit of snow with them. Now, these are the areas most likely to suffer disruption during tonight and tomorrow morning, and there is a very small chance of some freezing rain being mixed in with this lot, and freezing rain is the stuff that freezes as soon as it touches anything. So it is very dangerous. We don't see it very often, and hopefully there won't be very much of it about. Now, it's always going to rain down in the southwest. The mild air has just about got there already. But as these weather systems move in, we're going to find quite a bit of snow moving in across the southern half of England and Wales. And by the end of the night, we'll find some snow arriving in the border counties of Northern Ireland. The winds will be picking up as well, so pretty nasty conditions. Those winds may help to clear the freezing fog away from the Vale of York and the Forth and Clyde valleys. But up in Scotland, they're going to blow the snow that's lying on the ground around, causing some problems with drifting. And once again tonight, a very cold night in Scotland. So tomorrow, this snow band moving northwards into northern England, across Northern Ireland, eventually turning up in southern parts of Scotland around about to dusk. Blizzards up in the hills. But over southern parts of the country, as the snow moves away, so it'll turn to rain. The mild air moving in, but it is going to turn rather misty, and it is going to feel pretty cold wherever you are during tomorrow. During New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, we'll continue to see that Arctic air being pushed up into the northeastern corner of the country. Still a lot of mist and murk around in the south with that mild air. But once the wintry weather ends up in the northeast, I think we will find things brightening up everywhere, and we'll also find one or two showers coming along, but a much milder New Year to look forward to. Good night.